Hi everyone, this is What If Fan. This is what if Naruto had Crash Chakra. I believe the author is not publishing anymore, but please find fanfic name and author name in the description. Please support the author. Let's start. Chapter, Eiton. He was alone again. The adults didn't acknowledge him. The instructors in the academy hated him. His classmates ridiculed him, and nobody cared. The old man did what he could, but even the Hokage has his limits. He failed the test again. He couldn't make a damned clone to save his life. He just knew it was because he had too much chakra. He told the old man about it, but he just told him to keep trying. He saw the looks on everyone's faces in the academy, the knowing smirks, the gleam in their eyes. They knew what it was too. Naruto punches the ground. Damn it, why won't anybody help me? He punches the ground over and over again. Damn it. Damn it all. He pounds the ground repeatedly. It's not fair. What did I do to deserve this? Why won't anyone give a damn about me? Naruto punches the ground as hard as he could. He is shocked when the ground shatters, breaking apart into dozens, if not hundreds of cubes before disintegrating into dust, leaving a massive crevice in the ground. Naruto crawls away in horror, not realizing what he did. Naruto looks at his hands in shock. Double-ish. What was that? Naruto panics slightly. He's happy he is in the forest since that could have hurt somebody. Curious, Naruto gets up and looks at the tree behind him. He looks at his fist, and then back at the tree again. He punches the tree as hard as he can. Crack. Ah. Naruto is angry it doesn't work again. Ignoring the pain, he punches it again. Boom, the tree shatters into dozens of cubes again that disintegrate. Naruto, still having no idea what this ability is, decides to practice it until he can do it at will. At the end of the day, Naruto realizes the exact kind of dangers his new power possesses. Several times while he was practicing, the jutsu backfired and shattered the bones in his arms in dozens of places. It was only thanks to his godly healing that he could still use them after a few minutes. He also realized that if he gets too angry, he starts to destroy things around him unwillingly. Since when he got too frustrated, he began destroying surrounding trees and rocks and shattering the ground without realizing it. Naruto discovered two other things today. His power takes a massive toll on his body physically, so he's going to need to train his physical strength into the ground. And two, he needs to have a serious talk with the old man about clones. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but shit's gotta change. 2 years ago, Naruto began his ridiculous strength and conditioning regimen and changed his diet. Sure, he still went to Ichiraku's and just sat for his downtime and to spend time with them, but gone were the days of eating bowls of ramen in one sitting. Now it's lean fish and salads, meaty steaks and chicken breast. His hellish workout routines and new diet gave the once shrimpy little brat to grow to become the tallest and most muscular kid in the academy. At years old, Naruto stands at tall, and is extremely well muscled, more muscular than some of the Junin in the village. He's now aware of why he's hated in the village, thanks to a freak accident. Thinking about the memory of the day it happened causes him to chuckle and a slight growl to emanate from within him. And no, it wasn't his stomach. Flashback. Naruto is training in the forest after the academy as usual. After demanding that he be given an alternative to the academy clones, Hiruzen conceded and taught him the Kage Bunshin. Hiruzen always knew that he would have trouble controlling his chakra since he was an Uzumaki, but felt like Naruto should learn for himself instead. It was foolish in hindsight, but he'll start trying to help him out more now. Hiruzen also taught Naruto it would be smart to use the Kage Bunshin in training ninjutsu, since they pass the memories they acquire to the original when they dispel. So that's what Naruto was doing. Some of the clones were mastering the skills with his new jutsu. Some were mastering jutsu from scrolls that he had borrowed through less than noble means. Some were from shinobi around the village. Some were from bandit camps that he raided around Fire Country. Deciding that the power he had was something completely new, he named it Eiton, or Crash Release. Acquiring some chakra paper, Naruto discovered that he had strong affinities for earth, wind and lightning. So he safely concluded that his newly dubbed Eiton is a Kekkei Tota, or Advanced Release. He decided to begin developing actual jutsu for his new Kekkei Tota. Being able to manipulate and release it at will is fantastic, overpowered if anything, but he needed to have actual jutsu for it. Naruto had been developing a technique he called crushing evil, spreading truth. The jutsu focuses his crash element into his fist and releases it all at once, completely shattering and annihilating everything in its trajectory and amplifying the impact force of the punch 100-fold. It's a more destructive form of Tsunade Senju's super strength. It actually looks at her chakra-powered fist and says, that's cute. Another jutsu he'd been developing is subjugation of heaven and earth. It's one of the most destructive attacks he's ever seen. He gathers his crash element into a spherical ball and releases the chakra in a powerful blast that destroys everything in its path. The first time he practiced it, he blew away about a mile of forest. Given that he developed the jutsu based off of learning about the Bijudama, it worked pretty well. Too well. After its first successful test, he had to run and hide. Several Anbu teams and the old man himself arrived on the scene, and wondered if it was an actual Biju attack. So, good right? Now, Naruto was working on his control over Crash. Naruto wanted to be able to have such fine control over Crash that he could use it without having to worry about destroying too much. He created an exercise similar to the wind release exercise. He needed to focus on a single object and shatter it without affecting the nearby area. He's been doing well. He first successfully started with a boulder, then a tree, then a smaller boulder, then a smaller tree, then a branch, and then a stick, etc. He's now working on a pebble. Now Naruto was focusing intently on the pebble. He couldn't mess up. The slightest miscalculation could result in losing an arm. The smallest lapse of concentration could kill him. He needed to do this perfectly. No room for error, no mistakes, no. Boom. Shit. Inside Naruto's mindscape. Fuck. I'm dead, aren't I? Well, this sucks. Naruto finds himself in a sewer. Seeing an opening towards the end, he follows it. He comes across a massive cage. In the darkness of the cage, a giant eye opens. The slitted pupil focuses on Naruto. Come closer, human, the beast says. Naruto, curious, walks towards the cage. Suddenly, the beast's massive claw slams against the cage. Naruto reacts in time and jumps backwards to avoid the beast's attack. Damn. I was so close that time. Naruto narrows his eyes at the monster. What are you? And where the hell am I? The beast chuckles and answers his question with a question of his own. You really don't get it, do you? The beast steps forward, coming into view. Naruto's eyes widen in realization. Kyuubi, he says. The mighty nine-tailed fox chuckles darkly. Indeed, Naruto is still confused as to where he is. Stealing his gaze, he looks the massive Biju in its eyes. Where the hell are we, Kyuubi? I'm still confused, though I have an idea. Kyuubi gives a bestial grin. Indeed, Naruto wasn't dumb enough to believe Kyuubi actually was killed. He had read that Biju couldn't die, so the Yondaime-sama sacrificed himself to kill the tailed fox and save the village story was utter horseshit. Kyuubi chuckles again. You're correct, human. At least my container isn't as stupid as I thought. Naruto scoffs. So he was right. I guess that explains why the adults are such assholes to me. I'm your Jinchuriki. Naruto says. Kyuubi laughs aloud, shaking the room. He then looks at Naruto. Again, you continue to surprise me with your decisiveness, human. We are within your mindscape currently. I am healing you because you are dying. Naruto nods his head as the Kyuubi explains. He isn't really surprised at being the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki. Honestly, he doesn't really care. Lately his main focus has been developing his control over his Eiton. He could care less about being the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. He sighs and sits down in front of the massive cage. He looks up at the fox, who is eyeing him curiously. So? He begins. What do we do while I wait here? He asks. Kyuubi doesn't know what to make of this. You. Wow. The mighty Kyuubi is stumped. Naruto simply waits for a response. Kyuubi blinks before doing something akin to clearing his throat. I could, answer some questions if you have any. Naruto widens his eyes slightly in response. Okay, maybe he could work with this. Naruto thinks about what his first question should be. Do you know who my parents are? Kyuubi nods. I do. Their names were Kushina Uzumaki, who was my second container, and her husband, Minato Namikaze. Okay. Naruto was really surprised at that. He had been asking the old man who his parents were for a while now, and he'd been telling him he didn't know. Naruto knew about DNA tests and had even gotten one with the permission of the old man, but he said the results didn't match any of the samples that were in their database. So the old man had to be lying. The fox had no reason to. He wasn't angry at the old man keeping his heritage secret from him. It was the fact that he went to great lengths to lie about it. And of all the things Naruto hates, the looks he gets from the villagers, the instructors at the academy, the pink-haired bitch, and the black-haired emo, Naruto hates being lied to more than almost anything. He and the old man were going to have words once he gets stronger. Do you have any more questions? Kyuubi asks, waiting for his container to respond. Naruto looks up at the Kyuubi. Oh, sorry. I was thinking about something. Kyuubi's sweat drops at Naruto's absent-mindedness. Why did you attack Konoha when you did? This question elicits a growl from the mighty king of Bijou. He answers, I was controlled by one of those wretched Uchiha claiming to be Madara, but I know differently. He was far too weak to be Madara Uchiha. The only reason this human could control me was because of those accursed eyes of his. Naruto scoffs. Figures. Fucking Uchihas. Naruto's response surprises Kyuubi. Fucking pricks, the lot of them. Only good one is Mikoto Obasan. The rest are too stuck up and self-absorbed. Itachi did us all a favor by killing them all and leaving Mikoto Obasan alive. Should have done the duck ass in too though. He's just like the rest of them. Kyuubi laughs so hard that it knocks Naruto back a bit. He pounds the ground inside the cage, causing it to crack and dent under his strength. Ha 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 ha. Oh wow, yes. You are a fun container, brat. I can tell that I like you already. Calming down, Kyuubi looks at his container, a gleam in his eye. Human, do me a favor, would you? Naruto raises an eyebrow at this. Tear a corner off the seal on my cage. It won't harm you or let me escape, but it will allow me to experience your senses. I'm trapped inside of you, one way or another. It gets boring very quickly. Naruto nods. He understands the Kyuubi's feelings. He honestly doesn't seem to be the bloodthirsty evil beast the history books depict him as. Kyuubi seems more content, sleeping all day and staying to himself. He sympathizes with the beast. He does as Kyuubi asks, and suddenly feels a tug in the back of his head. You're waking up, brat. It seems I'm finished healing you. We can talk to each other mentally now, so if you need to ask me anything, think it aloud, don't say it and make people think you're losing your mind. Naruto smirks at the Kyuubi's cheekiness. Alright. Thanks, Kyuubi. He begins to fade out of his mindscape, but hears Kyuubi grunt in response. Oh no, don't be like that. Makes me think the Uchihas are rubbing off on you. He laughs, teasing the Kyuubi. The fox growls at his container's mocking. As Naruto fades away, Kyuubi says, cheeky brat. And then lays his head down, going back to sleep inside Naruto's mind. So now, Naruto makes his way to the academy. He was headed there to take the graduation exam. Naruto wasn't concerned in the least. He knew he would pass the exam no problem. The only obstacle he might face is that asshole of an instructor, Mizuki. He hated that man for several reasons. 1. He has that ridiculous prejudice against him. He was a prime example of ignorance within the village. 2. He heavily favored the Uchiha. And if Naruto wasn't an Uzumaki, he could be a Senju simply because of his disdain for the Uchiha clan. And 3. He treated his girlfriend like shit. And Naruto adored Tsubaki. She was way too good for Mizuki. As Naruto walks towards the academy, he smiles proudly at how much he's improved in his Eiton. He's developed a few, besides Eiton, crushing evil, spreading truth, and Eiton, subjugation of heaven and earth. He developed other jutsu for it. Eiton, concession of tyranny, is an area of effect jutsu. The jutsu injects his crash element into the ground and surrounding area, affecting those he chooses and sparing his allies. The jutsu destroys the terrain, incoming jutsu, and any chakra enhanced or infused items, including seals. Depending on the amount of chakra he uses, he can affect a small field or an entire valley. The next set of jutsus he created, through rigorous training and controlling his element, are based on the varying degrees of crash chakra he applies. They require no seals and are entirely reliant on his control. Crash is an application of minuscule to small amounts of crash chakra. The nature of crash element is purely destructive. It's similar to the Tsuchikage's Jinten or dust release, except to a much higher and concentrated degree, and it is much more dangerous to harness, but is far more versatile. Crash is something that Naruto has taken to calling the anti-element, meaning that it is capable of destroying other elements, jutsus, and chakra itself. The jutsu crash releases a small amount of jutsu to destroy small barriers, jutsu, and items. Impact. is the same principle, only it will destroy stronger variants since it uses more chakra. The process applies to the higher forms he developed. In order of increasing strength, they are Crash, diminutive to small degrees of chakra use and damage, E to D class in strength, destroys weak jutsu. Impact, medium to moderate amounts of chakra use and damage, C class in strength, destroys most chunin level jutsu. Tremor, higher amounts of chakra use and damage, B class in strength, destroys chunin and some junin level jutsu. Fissure, high chakra use and larger area of effect, destroys A rank jutsu, a class in strength. Rapture, very high chakra usage, able to level entire towns in a single use, S class in strength, and destroys most jutsu. Cataclysm, most destructive form of Crash, besides subjugation of heaven and earth, dangerously high chakra usage, able to destroy entire villages in a single use, destroys all forms of jutsu and chakra, potentially capable of destroying Bijou. And that's one thing that even Kurama actually has come to fear. He became very cooperative with Naruto when he realized how dangerous his element could be. He gave him his name and offered to train him to use his chakra, which Naruto refused, explaining that he'd rather use his own power instead of an outside source. Or inside, given the circumstances. Crash is an element that destroys chakra and Bijou are sentient chakra constructs. The adamantine sealing chains and Mokuton are capable of restraining and subjugating Bijou. The Sharingan can control them if strong enough, and now Naruto discovered an element capable of killing them, most likely permanently, given the inherent destructive properties of the element. Kurama grumbles something inside of Naruto's mind about fucking overpowered blonde brats. Naruto chuckles at his tenant. Naruto also developed an extremely effective defensive power for Eiton. It's one of the most powerful defensive jutsu he knows of. He calls it Crash Barrier. It's a subconscious regulation of Crash element around his body targeted specifically against enemy jutsu directed towards him. It's so effective that it can block most A-rank jutsu with ease. The one downside to his newfound strength is controlling it. By that meaning his physical strength. Naruto is physically stronger than most Junin, even potentially Mitogai. He one day wishes to lock horns with the Raikage, as a fellow man who prides himself on physical strength. But now, Naruto needs to restrain himself greatly in spars. He recalls a time when the emo duckling charged him recklessly during a time when Naruto was just learning to control his strength and speed. He delivered a flick to the emo's forehead and sent him flying into a wall, hospitalizing him for a week. He apologized profusely to Mikoto Obasan, upset that he saddened her and worried her. Arriving at the academy, Naruto disregards the hungry gazes of the girls in his class. He understands how good he looks now, but geez, keep your panties on, girls. They aren't Naruto's type anyways. Naruto can't really blame them. Tall and built like a statue of a Greek god, he has neck-length golden blonde hair with 2 bangs framing his face. His hair is a vibrant and healthy gold thanks to his strict diet, deep oceanic blue eyes, and perfect bronze skin tan with a flawless complexion, again, a result of his extreme diet and exercise. His attire consists of a black long coat, black Anbu-style pants, black combat boot, and instead of a shirt, he simply wraps his torso in bandages and leaves his muscular chest uncovered. He also keeps his hands wrapped in bandages. Naruto also began to carry himself differently. Instead of the hyperactive blonde idiot, he maintains a calm, level-headed nature. He still jokes around, but he doesn't seek attention. He began this change after having his first kill, something he knew would be better to do sooner rather than later. He stopped shouting about being Hokage, and was no longer an idiot in class, even knowing about things they hadn't learned of. Shadow clones are the ultimate cheat code. Another contributor to Naruto's growth in maturity was his various, relations with women in the village. He was a score for older women. He was young, charming, witty, and had a smile that made them melt in their panties. Many of the high-demand courtesans and escorts even come to him simply for casual sex. He's also developed a casual relationship with a kunoichi named Anko Mitarashi. The two had met when he accidentally destroyed part of the forest she frequented. After a brief scuffle and quick-ass whooping, Anko calmed down and listened to reason. She even kept his element a secret. After training and hanging out together, Naruto rocked her world and she instantly got hooked. He knows she has deeper feelings for him, but he isn't ready to commit just yet. He likes his freedom, and isn't ready to give that up. As Naruto waits for Iruka to give the graduation exam, he knows he's gonna have to reveal his power to the old man. And when he does, the old man is gonna need to answer for some things. Hiruzen questioned Naruto several times on his improvements, and Naruto simply answered, "Instead of focusing so much time on pranking, I've been taking my training more seriously." The Hokage has bought the lie so far, but Naruto knows that the Hokage suspects something more. Naruto isn't mad at the old man, he just wishes he didn't straight up lie and say he didn't know his parents. Kurama explained that his parents loved him very much, and were so happy they were going to be parents, that it sickened him. The old man shouldn't have led him to think that parents like that simply abandoned him. Naruto is snapped out of his musings when Iruka walks in. Giving the same droning speeches he's infamous for, he hands out the tests and signals it's time for the graduation exam to begin. Naruto walks out of the academy twirling his headband. He has a cocky smirk on his face, flaunting his success to the adults who just hate him because they have nothing better to do with their lives. Naruto passed with flying colors, and was given the title of Rookie of the Year. He was in such high spirits because he scored highest on the written exam, scored highest in Shuriken Jutsu, beat Mizuki's ass in the Taijutsu portion, kicked the Emo's ass in singles competition, and passed the ninjutsu exam flawlessly. He lets out a barely audible chuckle. He won't let the haters get him down today. Naruto already knows what he's gonna do to celebrate. Since he's an adult now, he's gonna hit up a bar, indulge in some sake, maybe pick up some woman he's never met before and wake up wrapped in her arms. Good times. Naruto sees Mizuki out the corner of his eye. The man is scowling at him with a venomous glare. Naruto doesn't care. Whatever the idiot has planned is of no consequence to him. Naruto remembers he has an appointment with the old man. It's time he answers his questions truthfully. As he enters the Hokage Tower, he flashes the cute secretary his signature smile. The woman is likely in her mid-30s. She wasn't like the other villagers and blindly hated him. She simply showed a bit of caution around him at first. She loosened up when he began talking to her, which soon turned to flirting. Naruto really liked the woman. She was sweet to him, and he appreciated that. Naruto heads on up to the old man's office and knocks on the door. Enter. He hears. Naruto opens up the door and walks inside. Hiruzen looks up and smiles. Ah, Naruto-kun. A pleasant surprise. Naruto smirks. The old man might not tell him the truth on everything, but Naruto knows the old man genuinely cares for him. How's it hanging, Gramps? I see you haven't faded into dust yet. Naruto jokes. Hiruzen laughs at the blunt humor Naruto displays. No, I haven't, Naruto-kun. I still have a few more years left in these old bones. Hiruzen replies. Naruto smiles and nods before turning his expression serious. Hiruzen sees this change and questions. What's wrong, Naruto? I see you've passed the exam, so I hope the instructors haven't given you any issues. Hiruzen points to the Hitayat Naruto is using as a belt. He shakes his head. Naruto takes a moment before saying, You didn't have to hide it from me, old man. Hiruzen blinks twice in surprise. What do you mean, Naruto? He asks. About my parents. Hiruzen's eyes widen. You didn't need to say you didn't know. You didn't have to go to such lengths to hide them from me. If you had told me I wasn't ready to know, I would have understood. But to lie to me for so many years, to make me think my parents abandoned me because they didn't want me. That was cruel, old man. I didn't deserve that, especially with my hard childhood. If you had told me that they cared about me, that they loved me, it would have made all the difference. Hiruzen can't even look Naruto in the eyes. Naruto was right. That was very wrong of him to make Naruto feel so hopeless. The elderly Kage rubs his brow in sadness. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun. You're absolutely right, I shouldn't have lied to you like that. Naruto nods. I know you did it for my protection, though, old man, but you should have done it differently. He smiles kindly at his grandfather figure. But I'm not angry at you, Gramps, just slightly disappointed. You were still there for me when you could be. You were the only family I had. Hiruzen looks up with hope in his eyes. He sees the sincerity in Naruto's expression. He smiles. I see. Thank you for forgiving this old man's misdeeds, Naruto-kun. Naruto shrugs. Meh. Can't really blame you. Senility will get to anyone if they live as long as you, old man, he replies with a smirk. Hiruzen grows a tick mark and his Anbu guard sweat drop at the snide comment. Naruto chuckles before continuing. So, I know my parents are the Yondaime and his wife, by the way. Hiruzen narrows his eyes at this. Relax, I won't brag about it. Frankly, I'm probably stronger than my old man anyways. Hiruzen blinks at Naruto. What? You realize what you're implying, right, Naruto? The Yondaime is considered the most powerful Hokage in history. Hiruzen is concerned about Naruto's mental health. While confidence can be a useful trait, there's a fine line between confidence and delusion. Naruto chuckles. He continues. I also got something I want to show you that'll make the council jizz their pants. Ignoring the derogatory remark, Hiruzen looks at Naruto questioningly. What do you mean, Naruto? Naruto smirks knowingly. He holds up his index finger for emphasis. I suppose you recall your old pal Onoki's dust release, correct, old man? Hiruzen nods his head. It's pretty strong, isn't it? Hiruzen nods. Indeed. It's an advanced element that combines the earth, wind and fire elements. It's a very formidable skill. Naruto chuckles. I'm pretty sure you know I've been hiding my true skill from you, right? Hiruzen nods. He knew Naruto was hiding his power. He could actually feel the change in his chakra. It felt denser, higher, and more ferocious. It was like he had to contain it from running wild and destroying everything around. My element makes dust release look like child's play. Pick a training ground and I'll meet you there tomorrow. I'd show you here if I could, but I might destroy the tower and hurt or kill someone accidentally. Hiruzen considers whether or not he should trust Naruto. A small display would be nice, but Naruto's confidence makes it hard to argue with him. Reluctantly, Hiruzen nods. Naruto grins. Thanks, Gramps. I'll see you tomorrow. Send an Anbu to let me know when and where. Naruto leaves the Hokage's office, heading out to hit the town and celebrate his graduation and coming of age. The sun peeks through the curtains, shining directly into Naruto's eyes. He stirs from his sleep, opening his eyes and adjusting them to the daylight. He goes to move out of bed and do his stretches, but there's a weight on his chest. He looks down and smiles. There's a gorgeous mop of raven black hair. He notices they both are stark naked and there's a sticky substance on his crotch. He smirks, proud that he scored such an angelic beauty. He shakes her gently, trying to stir her from her sleep. Hey babe, we need to wake up. She moans lightly and buries her face into his chest, not wanting to get out of bed. He grins and grips her perfect ass, squeezing it slightly. He shakes her again. I'm sorry, beautiful. I gotta get ready for the day. You're gonna need to move. She begins to stir and open her eyes. Naruto finds himself lost in them. They're the most beautiful shade of exotic red. He's never seen eyes like hers before. They're so deep, so passionate, so full of life. She moans as she's still half asleep. Naruto brushes a stray lock of black hair from the angel's face. Her eyes come into focus, seeing the blonde she's laying on. He gives her a warm smile. Morning, beautiful. The woman smiles lovingly at her bedmate. She leans up and covers his lips with her own. Naruto runs a hand through her hair, and another tracing up and down her back. She moans into the kiss, deepening it and wrapping her arms around his neck. Naruto smirks at the woman's assertiveness. Flipping onto her back and taking the dominant position, he continues their makeout session as he recalls the memories of the night before. Flashback. Naruto walks into a bar called the Double Kunai. It's a shinobi-only bar that most of the shinobi drink at. He walks up to the bar and orders warm sake. Given his appearance, nobody bothers him because he doesn't look like a kid. He looks to his left and sees something that catches his attention. A raven-haired beauty sits on the stool, a look of distress and sadness on her face. The bartender sees Naruto looking at her and gives him a jug of cloud suck and 2 saucers. Naruto notices and looks at the bartender questioningly. Finest stuff I got. Knock her dead, kid. Naruto smirks and gives the bartender a nod of acknowledgement and pours 2 saucers. He takes one and sets it down next to her. This catches her attention. Naruto sips his without looking at her. You look like you could use it. The woman looks at the saucer and rolls her eyes. I'm not the easy brat. She snaps. Naruto sets his saucer down. Never implied that you were. But you look like you could loosen up a bit. He turns his gaze to her. Share some drinks and talk my ear off. Come on, it'll be good for the both of us. The woman smirks and shakes her head. She picks up the saucer and downs it in one go. She slams it down and Naruto fills it back up, a smirk of his own on his face. She lifts it to her lips before saying, So, what do you want to talk about? Naruto chuckles, downing his own saucer. Let's start with names. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. She raises an eyebrow. As a Junin, she knows of his name and his burden. It's surprising because she always remembered him being a half-pint loudmouth, not this hunky Adonis sharing drinks with her like he knows how to play the game. She's intrigued by him. She replies, "Kurenai Yuhi." Naruto nods. "I see. So, Miss Yuhi, what could cause a beauty like you to drown your sorrows away with a guy like me?" Kurenai chuckles a bit. "Smooth indeed." She takes another drink. "My dumb boyfriend, that's what?" she answers. Naruto raises an eyebrow. He refills their saucers. "Care to elaborate?" She sighs before answering. "He thinks I'm stupid." Naruto widens his eyes as he slides her the saucer. "I may be a new Junin, but I'm well connected. I have friends telling me he brags about being with me. They also say he brags about sleeping with other women to his friends too." Naruto narrows his eyes at this. He's not the type to openly brag about the women he beds. When others do it, it makes them seem like utter tools. Kurenai downs her saucer and continues. "He also doesn't think I'll notice. Sometimes I'll see him in the morning and later that day he'll have changed his shirt or pants or both. Sometimes I don't see him for days at a time. He'll say he had an emergency mission, but my friends will say they saw him earlier." Naruto nods. From the way it sounds, he's definitely cheating on her. Kurenai rubs her forehead, stressed at her current situation. "I don't know what it is. Am I not a good enough woman? I mean, I thought he loved me. We've known each other since we were children. I thought he was a good man. I thought he wanted to spend his life with me." Naruto frowns, seeing the tears build up in her eyes. They were the most beautiful eyes he'd ever seen. An exotic shade of blood red. They complement her black hair, fair skin, and ruby red lipstick so perfectly. This woman was one of the most beautiful he'd ever seen. Naruto runs a hand through her hair, getting her attention. She looks at him and sees the warm smile on his face. He says to her, "Listen, forget about him for tonight, okay? Let's focus on each other." He hands her the saucer. "Deal?" Kurenai looks at the kindness in his eyes. It dawns on her that this entire time she's been ranting about her issues and never once taking the time to learn about Naruto. She takes the saucer and smiles at him. "Deal." She takes a sip and asks, "So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, Naruto-kun?" Naruto and Kurenai began swapping stories about themselves, laughing and enjoying each other's company. Naruto made sure to stop themselves from getting too drunk, which Kurenai appreciated. The woman made up her mind. After she learned enough about Naruto, she decided that she wouldn't run back to Asuma and chooses to spend the night with him instead. Naruto pars the barkeep, who gives him a smirk and a thumbs up, and heads out the bar with Kurenai. She takes him by the hand and leads him to her apartment. She unlocks the door and heads inside. Naruto follows behind her and closes it behind him before locking it. As soon as he turns around, Kurenai leaps on him and captures his lips. She directs him to her bedroom, and Naruto proceeded to give her the best night of her life. Unbeknownst to Kurenai, she isn't the only one who has friends in her relationship. Flashback end. Naruto chuckles mentally at the memory while continuing the heated makeout session. Inside his mind, Kurama chuckles as well. "Way to go, brat," his tenant says proudly. "Thanks, Kurama." Naruto replies. Kurenai maneuvers her legs around Naruto and wraps them around his waist. Naruto chuckles huskily, as he knows what the raven-haired goddess is wanting. And Naruto is happy to provide. Moments later, Kurenai's apartment is filled with the echoes of mating. The sounds of skin slapping, a creaking bed, female moans of ecstasy and masculine grunts of dominance can be heard, as the crimson-eyed goddess and golden blonde Adonis fulfill their desires for each other. After they finish another round in the shower, Naruto reluctantly leaves his lover. As Naruto heads out to breakfast, his thoughts are filled with the memories of the night before. Inside her apartment, Kurenai is having similar thoughts, unaware that her boyfriend already knows of her infidelity. Chapter: Stealing the Genjutsu Mistress. Naruto arrives at the training ground. Hiruzen chose for him to display his newfound element. The only others around are the Hokage's Anbu guards. Hiruzen smiles as Naruto approaches. "I hope your powers live up to the expectations you've set for yourself, Naruto-kun." Naruto chuckles. "You don't need to worry about that. Although, I need to get rid of a little pest first." Naruto turns his gaze to a section of trees. Hiruzen looks at Naruto in confusion. He channels a bit of his Crash Chakra towards the spy. A man dressed in Anbu attire falls from the trees, his left leg completely missing. The figure struggles, attempting to crawl away. Hiruzen narrows his eyes at the unmarked Anbu. He signals for his guards to bring the figure to him. They quickly capture the Anbu, and Hiruzen sees it was as he expected. Root, he says. Naruto raises an eyebrow. The man begins spasming and convulsing until he goes limp, dead. Hiruzen growls. Poison pill. Danzo, you monster. Naruto recognizes the name. Danzo Shimura was one of the village elders. He served alongside Hiruzen and was one of his teammates. Hiruzen waves his head. Dispose of the body. The Anbu nods, but Naruto has an idea. Allow me, old man, he says. Hiruzen raises an eyebrow but nods. The Anbu lay the body on the ground and step back. Naruto waves his hand in the direction of the body, channeling some Crash Chakra. Hiruzen's eyes widen, and the Anbu audibly gasp in surprise as the body shatters into cubes before disintegrating into ash and dust. Naruto smirks at their reactions. Hiruzen speaks, the shock evident in his voice. Naruto-kun. What power is that? Naruto chuckles. That, old man, is Eiton, or Crash Release. Hiruzen repeats in disbelief. Eiton. Naruto nods. It's an advanced release, a Kekkei Tota. It combines earth, wind and lightning into a pure destructive force. Hiruzen nods, in awe that such an power exists. He wants to learn more about it. To think such a skill exists. How is your control over it? Naruto answers. Well, as you saw, I can launch attacks wordlessly and without the use of seals. I think it's because the elements are combined inside my chakra coils. I noticed my chakra grew denser the more I trained, so that helps explain it. Hiruzen nods as Naruto explains. One of the few weaknesses Inoki has is the preparation time for his Jinten. What Naruto is saying shows the superiority of his Kekkei Tota to Inoki's. Instant release and precise control, along with the destructive capabilities, certainly makes for a formidable skill. Can you show me some more of your techniques, Naruto-kun? Naruto nods. He flashes through several hand seals and shouts, Eiton, concession of tyranny! The jutsu releases his crash element into the ground beneath them. The earth shatters into hundreds of cubes as Hiruzen and the Anbu group panic slightly. They fall into the crater that Naruto's jutsu leaves and leap back up to the even ground when they reach the bottom. Hiruzen looks at Naruto with a frown. Explain, Naruto. That attack could have hurt or killed us. Naruto laughs at Hiruzen's outburst. That's the point, Gramps. I used that attack to show you that even if you are in range, I have enough control over Eiton to destroy what I want to destroy. Hiruzen's eyes widen in realization. Naruto is right, if he wanted to, he could have destroyed them. The power and control the boy has is truly both frightening and amazing. Naruto speaks up. Hey Gramps. Hiruzen looks at Naruto. Launch a jutsu at me. Hiruzen looks confused. Naruto-kun, what? Naruto interrupts him. Just trust me, old man, launch a jutsu at me. Naruto goes and stands a distance away. Hiruzen narrows his eyes but waves through a few seals. Katan, Grand Fireball. Hiruzen launches a decent-sized fireball at Naruto and watches to see how he reacts. His eyes widen as he realizes Naruto had his eyes closed the entire time. To his shock, as the fireball nears him, it shatters into cubes and dissipates. Hiruzen blinks in disbelief. Naruto-kun, what did you do? He asks. Naruto chuckles. It's another of my element's power, Gigi. Crash is the anti-element. Its destructive properties are so absolute that it can even destroy chakra. I take advantage of this by regulating a constant field of Eiton that acts as an automatic defense. I don't just destroy the attack, I destroy the chakra itself that's used against me. Kyuubi and I theorize that my element may even be able to permanently kill Bijou. Hiruzen's eyes widen even further than before. Hiruzen loses his balance, and his Anbu have to catch him. The elderly Kage's mind runs rampant with the possibilities. If what Naruto says is true, then he's the ultimate equalizer. If Naruto can harness his element to the point where it can permanently kill Bijou, then his existence is enough to upset the power balance of the elemental nations. Hiruzen gets to his feet and clears his throat. I see. This is a lot to take in, Naruto-kun. This newfound Kekkei Tota of yours is unlike anything I've seen. Also, from what you said earlier, you've been in contact with the Kyuubi, correct? Naruto shrugs and nods. He's pretty docile. He sleeps most of the time and we talk casually. He offered to train me in harnessing his chakra, but I refused because I have no idea how his chakra will react with my Eiton. Harnessing his chakra may cause my crash element to run wild, and there's no way that ends well for anyone. Hiruzen shudders at the idea of a crash-powered bijou. Taking everything in consideration, this puts Hiruzen in a precarious situation. Naruto's raw power puts him on par with a Kage. The fact that he can nullify jutsu gives him an unfair advantage against anybody. Coming to a conclusion, Hiruzen turns his gaze to Naruto. Taking all of the circumstances into consideration, Naruto-kun, it seems that I need to re-evaluate your level. Placing you as a genin would be a waste of your abilities. So what? I'll do is arrange a private evaluation test. Since there's more days until team assignments, I'll hold your test days from now. Do you have an issue with that, Naruto-kun? Naruto smiles. Sounds great, Gramps. Just pick the unlucky bastards and I'll kick their asses. Hiruzen chuckles and the group leaves the clearing. Hiruzen has quite a bit of work to do, gathering Naruto's examiners and explaining his plans to the Junin. He's going to have to pull some strings. Later that day, Hiruzen gathered all the Junin and Tokubetsu Junin in his office. It was time to inform the Junin sensei of their team assignments. I thank you all for gathering today. As you all know, it's time for me to announce my chosen team assignments. Now, before I begin, do any of you have any specific requests for who you would like placed on your teams? Kakashi Hatake is the only one who raised his hand. This drew curiosity from the others in the room, although Hiruzen suspected this. He motions for Kakashi to speak. I'd like to request Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. Murmurs echoed from the other Junin in the room, but Kakashi ignored them. Hiruzen began. I'll grant you Sasuke, but I cannot allow you to have Naruto. Kakashi's visible eye widens. But, why Hokage-sama? Hiruzen leans back in his chair. Consider it taking liberties with my own authority, but I'm actually having Naruto take an impromptu Junin exam. The Junin gathered are outraged and appalled at Hiruzen's announcement. After a few seconds, the elderly Hokage's patience wears thin, and he floods the room with his killing intent. Silence. It almost seems as though even time was afraid to move. With a hardened glare on his face, the shinobi no kami addresses his soldiers. I seem to have gone senile in my old age. Tell me, who leads this village? They all respond, the Hokage, Hokage-sama. He continues, and who am I? They all respond again, the Hokage, Hokage-sama. Hiruzen nods. Exactly. And if I'm not mistaken, the hidden village system was created as a military dictatorship designed to be led by the strongest and most capable shinobi leaders from each village. Now tell me, do any of you think that, even in my old age, you could take this hat from me? He waits for an answer, to which he hears none. I didn't think so. My word is law, and I didn't ask for your opinions on the matter. I simply felt inclined to make you all aware of what I had scheduled. Calming himself and reining in his killing intent, he continues, Naruto will undergo an impromptu Junin evaluation, after which, if he passes, he will be promoted to Junin. Kakashi speaks up, asking, what caused this, Hokage-sama? I understand he graduated as Rookie of the Year, but surely he isn't impressive enough to join the ranks of Junin. Hiruzen sighs. He decides to further elaborate. Naruto awakened a certain skill that easily puts him at the level of Kage. This caused shocked gasps to erupt from the Junin. Hokage-sama, are you sure? A Junin asks. Hiruzen nods. I am sure. He showed it to me himself. The boy's power is nothing short of phenomenal. Therefore, I will have him tested against 3 individuals in 3 separate tests. The shinobi no kami explains. The Junin murmur and look amongst themselves. Kurenai Yuhi speaks up. Who will you test Naruto-kun against, Hokage-sama? Hiruzen is surprised at Kurenai's affectionate suffix, though he doesn't show it. Kurenai realized she accidentally addressed him as Naruto-kun, in front of the gathering of Junin, drawing a glare from her boyfriend, Asuma. Clearing his throat, he answers, in 3 days' time, Naruto will be tested in the Chunin exam stadium in 3 different fields. The first test will be a taijutsu-only spar against Junin Maito Gai. This caused surprised gasps and murmurs again. Ignoring them, Hiruzen continues, the second test will be a ninjutsu-only spar against Junin Kakashi Hatake. The murmurs evolved into full-on protest. Kakashi himself protested. Hokage-sama, you can't be serious. Hiruzen again ignores them. And the final test will be a full contest between Naruto Uzumaki and Jiraiya of the Sennin. The gathering of Junin go wide-eyed and the voices all stop. Snapping himself out of his stupor, Asuma Sarutobi speaks up. Dad? Hiruzen looks at his son. While not being the best father, he still loved his son. And while his father hadn't been there as much as he wanted in his childhood, Asuma cares greatly for him. The tension comes from their disagreements on many of Asuma's decisions, mainly his vices and laid-back attitude when it comes to training, because Asuma has the potential to become Hokage but doesn't train as hard as he could. Asuma says, "Don't you think you may be expecting too much from him? I mean, he's just graduated from the academy. How could he possibly be strong enough to face Junin, let alone one of the Sannin?" Hiruzen nods, understanding his son's concerns. Hiruzen comes up with a brilliant idea. The Junin shudder at the evil gleam in their Hokage's eyes. "I see that many of you are disbelieving, save a few of you." His eyes wander to Anko and Kurenai. "Asuma-kun," he says, turning to his son who gives him his full attention. "I have fought in great wars and held this hat for longer than most of you all in this room have been alive. I have seen many great talents rise and fall and seen many geniuses and talents buried before their time." The Junin feel the weight of the Hokage's heartfelt words. Their minds all travel to their fallen loved ones, and their very own yondaime. Kakashi especially feels the weight of those words, having often struggled with the dilemma of why he still lives when everyone he cares for dies. Hiruzen continues, "Naruto-kun is different from all of them. This draws surprise from the gathering of Junin. He isn't a once-in-a-lifetime genius. He isn't the hardest worker either. Not to say that he doesn't work hard, of course." Confusion sets in amongst the shinobi. What he is a product of chance. I cannot explain it in words. I suggest you see it for yourself. Asuma raises an eyebrow in question. "Dad, what do you mean?" Hiruzen gives his son a knowing grin. "Go test his power yourself, son. It'll be a good opportunity to work out some of your own problems." Asuma's eyes widen when he realizes what his father is referring to. How he could possibly know about that is beyond him. The professor still lives up to his name. Asuma nods in understanding. Hiruzen addresses the remaining issues regarding the meeting. Moving along, team will be Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Sai no family name. Junin Sensei will be Kakashi Hatake. Team Atu will be Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka, and Shino Aburame. Junin Sensei will be Kurenai Yuhi. Team is still in circulation under Maito Gai. Team will be Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Naru, and Choji Akamichi. Junin Sensei will be Asuma Sarutobi. Any questions? They all raise their hands. Hiruzen sighs. Any questions not regarding Naruto Uzumaki? They all lower their hands. Hiruzen nods. Dismissed. Naruto is taking an afternoon stroll through Konoha, enjoying the air. He hums a peaceful melody as he takes in the sights of merchants and peddlers, happy children spending time with their parents, and couples both young and elderly. As he's walking, he takes notice of a jounin heading his way. The man has a glare in his eyes as he approaches Naruto. Naruto stops in front of him, standing his ground. The two stare each other down for a few moments. The other man speaks up. "Training ground." He then disappears in a shunshin. Naruto blinks before smirking and disappearing in a shunshin of his own, heading to the training ground the man specified. Appearing in training ground standing across from the Junin, Naruto notices a small group of Junin standing off to the sides. Naruto recognizes them. They are Kakashi Hatake and Maito Gai, along with his lovers Kurenai Yuhi and Anko Mitarashi. Naruto smirks, getting a sense of why he's here. He also narrows his eyes at the concerned expression on Kurenai's face. He turns to the Junin. The man has a very tense expression on his face. He hasn't met him before or heard of him, as his reputation must be eclipsed by Maito Gai and Kakashi Hatake. Naruto says, "I know those four over there, but I've never met you before. Who are you?" The man pauses a moment before answering. "Asuma Sarutobi." Naruto nods, having more of an understanding on the situation and why he's here. "I see." He says simply, "Mind explaining why we're here?" Asuma scowls at the blonde-haired boy. "The old man says you're strong. I'm supposed to test you, but I'm gonna kick your ass for personal reasons," he says, equipping his trench knives. Naruto smirks. "Just as I thought." Naruto simply sighs. He's dealt with disgruntled partners before, having slept with married women and women already in committed relationships. He can smell a jealous lover from a mile away. "Well, to be fair, didn't you cheat too?" Asuma growls. Naruto chuckles and continues, "Sure, cheating is wrong, and I'm a piece of shit for sharing a bed with a committed woman, but hey, I don't pretend to be a good guy, Asuma-kun." He pronounces the suffix mockingly to rile him up more. "I'm a piece of shit that sleeps around, and Nai-chan knows that." He narrows his eyes, seeing his taunts getting to the man. And you're no better than me. Asuma growls at the blonde genin's taunts. Who are you to judge me, brat? You and I are nothing alike. He then smirks, and tries to use a little taunting of his own. You see, kid, I'm an adult who makes my own decisions. You're just a brat trying to fit in who seeks comfort from random whores. Naruto grits his teeth at the man's comments. Many of the women Naruto sleeps with come from hardship and unfortunate backgrounds. The married or committed women are often victims of abusive or unfaithful partners, some of whom Naruto has defended them from. The escorts often rely on him for protection from unruly customers. Naruto admits to being a womanizer, but he is also a gentleman who never insults women. He growls, releasing a bit of his killing intent at the older jounin. Asuma is surprised, and begins to swear at the young blonde's killing intent. Naruto says to him in a calm and icy tone, "You can insult me all you want, but don't ever insult the women I associate with. I didn't insult Nai-chan, and I never will. What gives you the right to insult the women I have relations with?" Asuma smirks, trying to stand strong against the overwhelming pressure Naruto is releasing against him. Asuma would never admit it, but he's intimidated by the power the boy appears to have. "The moment I found out that you slept with my woman, brat, me and Kurenai are going to have words after this, but first," he drops down in a stance with his trench knives. "I'm gonna hurt you, and hurt you bad." Naruto smirks. "So, you like to refer to Nai-chan as your woman, Asuma?" He shakes his head. "This is why Nai-chan confided in me. You constantly refer to me as brat and kid, but you're showing your immaturity right now. Nai-chan is her own woman, and I'm twice the man you are for acknowledging that." Asuma growls and charges recklessly at Naruto, no longer able to contain his anger. He imbues his wind element into his trench knives, swiping at Naruto with the intent to kill him. Naruto dodges effortlessly, taunting him and laughing at the older jounin. Asuma misses another slash, and Naruto jumps back, creating distance between himself and the older jounin. He smirks at the man. "Is this the best you can do, Asuma? For all your threats of hurting and maiming me, I've had harder training sessions than this." Asuma grits his teeth at the blonde boy's taunting. He flashes through some hand seals. Eiton, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Asuma spews several fireballs at Naruto, who simply smirks. With the godly control over his Eiton, Naruto snaps his fingers, releasing some of his crash element at the oncoming jutsu. Asuma and the spectator's eyes widen as the fireballs shatter into cubes and disintegrate. Asuma stutters before managing to say, "What the hell did you do, brat?" Naruto chuckles. "Now why would I tell my opponent my secrets, Asuma?" He then tauntingly gestures for him to come on. Asuma growls and charges back in with his trench knives, yielding the same results. He holds up a single seal and shouts, "Eiton, ash pile burning." He spews a dark cloud of gunpowder that covers Naruto. Kurenai widens her eyes in concern. "Naruto," she shouts. Asuma smirks and gnashes his teeth, igniting the small flint in his mouth and creating an explosion. Kurenai watches in horror, hoping her boyfriend hadn't killed the blonde. To the shock of everyone present, except for Anko, who knows much of the extent of her blonde lover's power, the massive explosion shatters into cubes and dissipates before their eyes. Asuma is in disbelief, since that's one of his strongest attacks. "You little shit. How do you keep doing that?" Naruto smirks and shrugs. Asuma growls and engages Naruto in more close-range combat. This time, Naruto wasn't on the defensive. He began peppering Asuma with punches and kicks. Asuma tries countering, but Naruto's speed outmatched his own, and his strength was punishing. At the end of the exchange, Asuma was battered, bruised, and exhausted. "Shit," he thinks, gritting his teeth. "What the hell is this brat? No fresh genin should be this strong." He growls at having to resort to his next attack. He then drops down in a stance with a single hand seal, causing the jounin to gasp in surprise at recognizing the technique. "Asuma, don't!" Kakashi shouts, afraid he might actually kill Naruto. Asuma ignores the plea of his comrade. Welcoming approach, 1,000 armed murder. Asuma's chakra takes the form of a massive, many-armed Buddhist deity, causing Naruto to whistle in praise at the powerful jutsu. Naruto leaps back to dodge an oncoming attack. He smirks and holds up a half-ram seal. He makes sure to target only the chakra and not Asuma himself. He doesn't want to hear the old man bitch at him for either crippling or killing his son. And he definitely doesn't want to deal with the distraught Kurenai blaming him for her boyfriend's death or dismemberment. He shouts, "Fissure!" and channels a denser amount of his chakra at the chakra construct. The ground near and around Asuma erupts into cubes, and the chakra entity is destroyed. Asuma leaps out of the way of the destroyed ground. Asuma stares Naruto down. That was one of his strongest attacks. This weird power of his. Is he invincible? Asuma blinks as Naruto disappears from his sight. Suddenly he coughs up spittle and gags as Naruto drives his fist into Asuma's gut. The force of the punch causes Asuma to lose grip on his trench knives. Naruto's assault wasn't finished. He lands a punch to Asuma's face, knees him in the gut, roundhouse kicks him in the arm, breaking it, and finishes with an overhead right. Every attack was meant to debilitate his opponent and every strike counted. Asuma was unconscious and suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of a fresh academy graduate. The other 4 Jonin rush onto the field to assess the damage. Naruto releases a sigh. Anko saunters up to him and plants a kiss on him in front of her colleagues. Kurenai blushes slightly and looks away while Kakashi caught it and giggles perversely. Naruto returns the kiss with equal fervor and grabs a handful of the beautiful Tokubetsu Junin's ass, causing her to giggle. He flashes her his signature smile but turns to Kurenai. "I'm sorry for beating up your boyfriend, Nai-chan. He just pissed me off a bit." The other Junin look at Kurenai, awaiting her answer. They too were surprised at Asuma's words. Kurenai furrows her brow slightly. "It's fine, Naruto-kun. Asuma upset me as well. When he wakes up, he and I will have a lot to talk about." Naruto nods, understanding why. He walks up to Kurenai and gives her a quick kiss on her lips, to which she smiles at. He returns the smile. "Okay, Nai-chan. If you want to talk, I'll be at Anko-chan's place. Swing by there when you're finished." She nods, and Naruto turns and wraps an arm around Anko. The two walk off the field and return to the beautiful snake mistress's apartment, eager to celebrate Naruto's victory. Kurenai smiles as she watches them leave, happy that Naruto treats her so well. She loves his personality, even if he is a bit of a playboy. She turns her attention to Asuma but frowns, remembering some of the things he said. Guy and Kakashi carry him to the hospital so that he can recover. Kurenai follows, needing to settle things with him so that they can put all of this past them. Guy and Kakashi regroup at the double kunai. Unlike his normal youthful self, Guy is unnaturally quiet. The reason why is because Naruto's abilities are heavily weighing on his mind. Naruto is extremely powerful, frighteningly so. He wonders just how powerful he truly is. "You're thinking about it too, aren't you, Guy?" Kakashi asks, noticing his friend's expression. Guy looks up and nods. "I am. He defeated Asuma so easily." He sighs. "I fear that wasn't even a fraction of his true power." Kakashi nods, noticing that Naruto was holding back immensely. What bothers him is that odd power of his, giving him the ability to shatter things at will. Kakashi and Guy sit and drink quietly, exchanging few words as they do. Guy saw the speed Naruto had, momentarily evading his eyes. That kind of speed can only be achieved by nearly murdering yourself. Perhaps the Hokage was wrong, and Naruto also is a genius of hard work. After finishing his drink, Guy went home for the night, and left Kakashi musing over what he saw from Naruto, and that strange power of his. He completely cancelled out Asuma's jutsus somehow, and was able to move faster than he could follow and dominate him physically, beating him into unconsciousness. He sits while sipping nursing his drink and reading his favorite book, multitasking between the three. As he's lost in his thoughts, he fails to notice another figure approaching him. "Still can't quit reading that smut, senpai?" Kakashi looks up at the voice and sees a familiar purple-haired kunoichi. He smiles at the woman. "You know me, Yugao-chan. I never change." The woman smiles and takes a seat with her drink across from her former captain. "It's nice to see you again. How goes work?" he asks. Yugao shrugs. Same old, same old. I don't go on as many assignments since I usually guard Hokage-sama." Kakashi nods. "How about you? Never figured the famous Kakashi Hatake would take on a genin team." Kakashi chuckles. "I haven't taken them on juts yet, Yugao-chan." He sips his drink and lets out a sigh. "I was hoping to teach Naruto, but Hokage-sama is going to test him to see if he can get promoted to Junin rank. He fought Asuma and dominated him, but I still think Hokage-sama should rethink his decision regardless of his strange power." Yugao sits and listens to Kakashi intently. Taking a sip from her drink, she responds, "I trust Hokage-sama's decision, senpai. I've seen the boy's power myself." This catches Kakashi's intrigue. You have? The purple-haired beauty nods. Tell me what you know about it. Yugao giggles. The suspense must be killing you, senpai. She takes a drink before continuing. His Eiton is a combination of earth, wind, and lightning. It's similar to the Tsuchikage's Jinten, except his mastery with it is unmatched. He casts it faster, and with greater control, and less chakra usage. Kakashi's eye widens. He knows of how powerful Jinten is, and if Naruto can use something on that scale and to a greater control, how could he possibly hope to match it? Another thing, Kakashi, Yugao says. She knows she shouldn't be revealing Naruto's secrets, but Kakashi is someone important to her, and he needs to know to be careful against him. Plus, Sandami-sama never prohibited her from talking about it. She takes a drink before saying, Jutsu won't work against him. Kakashi's raises an eyebrow in intrigue. I saw him destroy some of Asuma's attacks. Are you saying that's an ability of his Eiton? Yugao nods. His element is pure destruction. He said that his Eiton can destroy chakra. She stops there, refusing to disclose the possibility that he can kill Bijou. This revelation stuns Kakashi though. How is it possible that an element exists that can even destroy chakra? And if that's true, then how could he possibly beat something that strong? It explains how he negated Asuma's attacks, but he actually destroyed the chakra. That power is both terrifying and incredible. Noticing the expression on Kakashi's face, Yugao deflects his attention. So, me and Hayate broke up. Kakashi was surprised at her statement. What? Why? He asks. Yugao shrugs. It just wasn't working for me. She takes another sip. I love him, sure. But more as a brother or best friend than someone I want to settle down with. I mean, we're childhood friends. I hope I didn't hurt him too badly though. Kakashi sighs. First Kurenai and Asuma, and now Yugao and Hayate. Today's been full of heartbreaks. He takes a sip of his own drink. A question crosses his mind. Did he find out? Yugao shakes her head. No, at least, I don't think so. The two are referring to one of the missions they had been on assigned. It was an S-rank mission, and they had both been close to dying. They had been separated from their other two teammates, and had been hiding in a cave. The situation had gotten to both of them, and they had given in to their lust, and made love. If Yugao had been honest, it was the best she had, not having been with Naruto. I see. Kakashi says. Yugao looks at him, in slight appraisal. Do you regret it, senpai? Kakashi looks up in slight surprise. No, I don't. Why do you ask? Yugao shrugs. I know you and Hayate are friends, and I'm the one who came on to you. Kakashi shakes his head. No, Yugao-chan, I don't regret it. Do you? He responds. She smirks. Of course I don't, senpai. She has a mischievous glint in her eye. You know. The next morning finds Kakashi watching a sleeping Yugao, stroking her hair as she snores lightly. The white-haired Junin has a smile on his face. As he observes the beautiful purple-haired woman, Yugao wakes and turns to her bedmate with a smile on her face. Morning, senpai. She says lovingly. She appreciates the maskless face of her lover. He scoots his naked form closer to hers. He leans down and kisses her tenderly. Morning, Yugao-chan. Did you enjoy your night? He asks with a smirk on his face. She giggles lightly, sending chills down his spine. Of course I did, Kakashi-kun. It was every bit as amazing as I remembered. She wraps her arms around him, and pulls him back down to the bed. She climbs on top of him, claiming his lips once more. Kakashi explores his lover's body with his hands. Yugao parts from the kiss with a grin. I want more. And, she leans down and nips his ear before continuing with a seductive whisper. I don't have to report in today. Kakashi smirks, and spends the rest of the morning, and well into the afternoon making love to Yugao. He missed her as much as she missed him, and the two expressed their feelings to each other with their bodies. Yesterday evening, Kurenai sits in a chair next to Asuma's bed. A frown adorns the beautiful Kunoichi's face as she waits for him to wake up. His attitude during the fight with Naruto was so out of character for him. The Asuma she knew was kind and polite to her. Even if she knew he was a cheater, he never disrespected her. But when he was trading taunts with Naruto, he disrespected her and all the women Naruto was affiliated with. She took exception to that but was uncertain how she should confront him about it. Kurenai is broken out of her musings when Asuma stirs from his unconsciousness. He opens his eyes and turns his head to see the Ravenette sitting next to his bed. He chuckles. "Kurenai-chan," he says with a kind smile. Kurenai returns it with a polite, soft smile. Asuma struggles but manages to sit up, still sore from the fight. Kurenai sees his grimace and goes to help him, only for him to indicate that he is fine. Kurenai sits back down with a concerned frown. Asuma sighs. "I want to apologize, both to you and to the kid." Kurenai is surprised at Asuma's words. She widens her eyes as he continues. "I wasn't myself, Kurenai-chan. I haven't been myself for a while now. I was angry, unfairly, both at you and at Naruto." He sighs again. Kurenai respond, "No, Asuma-kun, we were all wrong. Both me and Naruto-kun see that." Asuma shakes his head. No, Kurenai-chan. You and Naruto are not wrong. I cheated first. I've been cheating all this time. What you did, I can't blame you for. And I definitely can't blame the kid either. I'm sorry." Kurenai frowns. Asuma is taking all the blame on himself. He isn't even mad at Naruto, even though he beat him up. Perhaps Naruto knocked some sense into him? Kurenai speaks up. "Then, let's start over, Asuma-kun. Let's make this relationship work. We both see where we can improve, we can make things work out." Asuma smiles sadly. He sees the hopeful expression on her face. He responds, "I don't think we can, Kurenai-chan." His answer shocks the Genjutsu mistress. "What? Why not?" she demands. Asuma shakes his head. "Kurenai-chan, I'm a cheater and now you've cheated too. I know you'll never trust me fully. And I know I can never trust you fully again either." Kurenai frowns. She growls back, "And why not?" Asuma sighs and looks at her in her eyes. "If I told you that you could never be around Naruto again, that I never want you talking to him or even looking at him again because I know what happened between the both of you, could you bring yourself to do it?" Kurenai looks down. Knowing what Asuma says is true. She really cares for the blonde Adonis greatly, and many of her thoughts were about him today. She doesn't think she could simply cut him off like Asuma said. Asuma sees her expression fall and scoffs. "Damn. How humiliating. He beats me up and takes my girlfriend. Well, I guess I brought it on myself honestly." Kurenai looks up and responds, "No, Asuma-kun, I don't." Asuma holds up his hand, signaling for her to stop. "Don't, Kurenai-chan. We're both adults here and I've accepted that it's better this way. Don't make this any harder than it needs to be," he says with a smile. "Let's just try to be friends after this. I may have lost my girlfriend, but that doesn't mean I need to lose my childhood friend, does it?" Kurenai's expression softens. He's right, in her opinion. Maybe the two of them can try to get along after this. It's regrettable, but she doesn't think she can trust him fully either. And she doesn't trust herself to not run to Naruto anymore. Naruto makes his way to check up on Kurenai the next day. After a wild night in the sack with the snake mistress, he felt he needs to see his Genjutsu mistress next. She hadn't stopped by that evening, and he became worried. Unlike the beautiful Tokubetsu Junin, Kurenai owns her own house instead of a simple apartment. Arriving, Naruto knocks on her door and waits for her. After a few seconds the door opens, revealing a slightly disheveled raven-haired beauty. She's wearing an oversized black shirt and her red panties. To Naruto, this is when a woman is at her most beautiful, when she isn't even trying. Naruto snaps out of his musings and asks, "Nai-chan, what happened? I was hoping to see you yesterday but you didn't stop by. Are you okay?" Kurenai smiles sadly and invites the blonde prospective Junin inside. Naruto goes and sits on her sofa while Kurenai prepares them some tea. Coming to join him with 2 cups, she sits down next to him. Naruto looks at her with a worried expression. Kurenai sighs. "Me and Asuma decided it would be best to take a break." Naruto's eyes widen in surprise. "We knew things would never be right between us. I could never trust him fully, and he'd never trust me the same again. Things were beyond repair between us." Naruto looks at her sadly, feeling responsible for causing her trouble. He sighs. "I'm sorry, Nai-chan. I didn't mean to cause more problems for you." Kurenai furrows her brow and embraces him in a hug. "It's not your fault, Naruto-kun. It's nobody's fault. You don't need to apologize, Naruto-kun. I don't regret what we did. I never will. I enjoyed every moment." Naruto smiles at Kurenai's words. He turns to her, and their eyes meet. Taking a moment to get lost in each other's eyes, Naruto pulls Kurenai into a deep, passionate kiss. Lemon scene happened. Naruto pulls out, his excess seed pouring out of the Jinjutsu mistress. He gives her ass one last slap for good measure. Amazing as always, baby. He climbs up off of Kurenai's bed, and walks her bedroom window, a smirk on his face, and his cock swinging proudly. He comes face to face with the mind-broken Asuma. The blonde alpha chuckles. Hope you enjoyed the show, Asuma. 'Cause she belongs to me now. He finishes his message and closes the curtains before heading into Kurenai's kitchen to get a drink. Soon after, Asuma can be seen with his knees curled up to his chest, hiding his painful erection. Grunts and moans can be heard from inside Kurenai's house. Asuma was broken. Naruto had completely defeated him. He trampled upon his pride, degraded him as a man, and stolen his lover away from him. Forever. Chapter: Crash Course. It was time. Naruto enters the arena where only Hiruzen, the elders, the clan heads and the Enbu Commander Dragon are in attendance to witness. As he enters, he sees that Kakashi, Mitogai, and Jiraiya of the Sannin are there waiting for him. Before the exam begins, Hiruzen makes his way down and explains what will happen. Welcome, Naruto-kun. I trust you are prepared. Naruto chuckles. Of course I am, Gramps. Hiruzen smiles and nods. Indicating the proctors of the exams, Hiruzen says, these three will be your opponents as well as your proctors. In order, Mitogai will be your Taijutsu proctor, Kakashi Hatake will be your ninjutsu proctor, and Jiraiya will be assessing your overall skill level in a full-on contest. Understood? Naruto nods. Good. Let us know when you are ready, and we'll begin with your taijutsu exam. After a couple of minutes, Naruto stands across from Mitogai. The two powerful shinobi never waver in their gazes, each one sizing up their other and gauging their skills. Guy is the first to speak up. I wish you a most youthful contest, Naruto-kun. Good luck. Naruto chuckles at Guy's unique way of speaking. Likewise, Guy-san. Yugao is the referee for Naruto's Junin exam. Although, Naruto notices the slight limp she's walking with. He cracks a knowing grin on his face, something Kakashi and Yugao both pick up on. She blushes and clears her throat. This match with be purely taijutsu. Guy, remember that you are only trying to gauge his skills to fit Junin level. Naruto, remember that you may not use any jutsu, am I clear? Both contestants nod. Begin. Although Yugao indicated that the match has started, neither Guy nor Naruto immediately went into action. Both wait for the other to attack first, something the few spectators in the arena approve of. For now, the two engage in a battle of patience. After a few minutes of neither moving a muscle, Guy grins and nods in approval. Guy then drops into a stance for his Goken style. Naruto responds by dropping down into his Eiton, or crashing fist style. The spectators' eyes widen in intrigue, having never seen that stance before. Interesting, Hiruzen says, getting the attention of the elders. Naruto-kun must have created that style himself. They nod, turning their gazes back to the match. Guy takes off at his weighted speed. Even restricted, he's still moving at high Junin speeds. Naruto is still able to see him though. Guy throws a punch, which Naruto is there to meet with his own. The two fists clash, and the resounding shockwave echoes throughout the stadium. Both combatants sport genuine grins on their faces. They disappear in a blur of speed. The two fighters clash in several areas in the arena. The stadium is filled with shockwaves as the warriors clash fist for fist, elbow for elbow, knee for knee, and kick for kick. After a few minutes of non-stop action, Naruto and Guy both appear in the middle of the arena. Both are panting slightly, each bearing marks where their opponent had landed strikes. The two take off to engage one another again. Naruto manages to duck under a punch from Guy, responding with a punch to his gut. Guy grits his teeth and delivers a left hook to Naruto's jaw. Guy is not using any of his Goken grappling techniques, as he is not trying to incapacitate Naruto, he's merely trying to gauge his skills. Naruto is not using any of his crash element as he is not trying to kill the green beast of Konoha. After a few more minutes of close quarters combat, the two part. Guy says, enough. I've seen what I've needed to see. Naruto-kun, I can honestly say your taijutsu is easily at Junin level. I believe we should stop before we get too carried away. Naruto relaxes and nods. Thank you. I agree, Guy-sensei. Naruto addresses the man as Guy-sensei out of respect for his skill. Naruto had nearly been going all out without using his chakra. He surmises that Guy is not an opponent he can defeat without lethal force. That taijutsu of his is troublesome. Yugao indicates the match has ended. The onlookers are impressed at Naruto's ability to keep up with Guy's speed. He was also able to land several strikes on the elite Junin. The clan heads were most impressed with his display of skill. I have to say, Inoichi Yamanaka begins. I wasn't expecting the boy to do so well. Sume Inuzuka nods. The pup managed to give Guy a decent fight. Not a lot of people can keep up with him, even if he still was holding back. The usually stoic Shibiabarame adds, it is clear that his taijutsu is Junin level. In the Kage box, Hiruzen and the elders are speaking. I was not expecting the boy to be so skilled for his age. Elder Homura says, indeed. He shows such promise for his age, yet he has only just recently graduated from the academy. Elder Koharu adds, Homura and Koharu are longtime friends and former teammates of Hiruzen's. Them, along with Danzo Shimura, are rare examples of shinobi who manage to live to old age. Danzo doesn't say anything. It had been a long-time goal of his to sway the Kyuubi Jinchuriki to join his cause. He'd known for a long time that Naruto had been training in secrecy, but the root shinobi he'd sent to spy on him or capture him had never returned alive. After a while he'd stopped sending them, refusing to lose any more of his forces. Hiruzen adds his thoughts. Naruto-kun is proving to be a beacon of Konoha's resurging strength. I have no doubt that once the other villages learn of his power, they'll be hesitant to move against us. Or they'll learn to fear him the hard way. The elders raise an eyebrow at Hiruzen's ominous words. They're intrigued to see what Naruto is capable of to warrant such words from the god of shinobi himself. After a few moments of rest, Kakashi heads to the center of the field with Naruto. Good luck, Naruto, Kakashi says with an eye smile. Naruto smirks. Likewise, Kakashi. And don't worry, Yugao-san, I won't hurt your boyfriend too badly. This elicits a blush from both Yugao and Kakashi. It also causes a few of the spectators to chuckle, while the perverted Toad Sage giggles and scribbles in his notebook. Yugao clears her throat, trying and failing to play off his comment. This contest will be ninjutsu only. Kakashi, remember that you are only trying to gauge his skill. No lethal attacks, am I clear? The two nod. Yugao turns to Kakashi though, and says quietly for only him to hear, be careful. Kakashi's gaze softens, and he nods at her in assurance. Yugao reciprocates and declares, begin. Immediately Kakashi begins flashing through hand seals. Keton, Grand Fireball. Kakashi launches a decently sized fireball at Naruto, who doesn't move. Before the fireball hits him, it shatters into small cubes and dissipates into thin air, shocking the audience and causing Kakashi to grit his teeth. Damn it. It's going to be just like when Asuma fought him. He lifts up his Hitayat and reveals his Sharingan. In the stands, the clan heads witness the event in shock and confusion. What the hell just happened? Tsume shouts. Hiyashi Hyuga offers his insight. He witnessed the exchange with his Byakugan active and sees the cause. It would seem there's some sort of chakra field surrounding Naruto. He has difficulty watching Naruto due to the density and intensity of his chakra. Years of training and experience allows him to safely watch the match. The clan heads turn to him. What do you mean, Hiyashi? Shikaku Nara asks. Hayashi explains, when Kakashi's fireball entered into this field it began, destroying the chakra contained in the attack. Incredible. Their eyes widen. Destroying the chakra? Sume asks. Hayashi nods. I don't know how, but the chakra in this field or barrier or whatever that is surrounding Naruto attacked the chakra in Kakashi's jutsu. I've never seen anything like it. Back in the arena, Naruto flashes through his own hand seals. Futon, spiraling air bullet. Naruto launches a rapid piercing projectile of air at Kakashi, who barely manages to move out of the way. Futon! Hiruzen exclaims. The audience is vastly impressed, considering wind users are so rare. Kakashi flashes through several more hand seals. Doton, emerging ground spikes. The ground erupts in dozens of sharp spikes. Naruto stomps his foot and the ground shatters into cubes. Kakashi dodges out the way, afraid he may get destroyed as well. Naruto shouts, Futon, wind javelin barrage. Several wind spears appear behind Naruto. Kakashi looks on with widened eyes as they blast towards him. He manages to Kawarimi with a magical log before the projectiles land, devastating the ground and completely destroying the log. Not at all winded, Naruto launches another jutsu to display his arsenal. Doton, Stone Fisher. Kakashi is in a precarious position. He manages to Kawarimi in time, but he's becoming winded. He's never had a massive amount of chakra, and the strain of using a Sharingan along with launching several jutsu is becoming quite taxing. Naruto had already displayed enough skill, but the match had become quite heated. Kakashi's pride takes exception to the idea of being defeated by a fresh academy graduate. Kakashi decides to take a gamble, hoping to catch Naruto off guard. This will be his last stand. Kakashi flashes through several hand seals. Eiton, Grand Fireball. He launches a massive fireball at Naruto. The attack requires Naruto to actively concentrate in order to shatter it. He destroys the fireball but not before Kakashi appears behind him, catching him by surprise. Naruto widens his eyes as Kakashi places his hand on his shoulder. Good fight, Naruto. However, this is game over. Kakashi holds up a single hand seal. Eiton, Shockwave Submission. Naruto quickly flares his chakra, as Kakashi releases the jutsu to try to incapacitate him. The crash element collides with Kakashi's lightning, resulting in a chakra backlash, the explosion sending Kakashi flying. Naruto holds his ground but the impact still winds him. He digs his heels into the ground to prevent from flying into a wall, unlike Kakashi. From the rubble, Kakashi is visibly injured. He pulls himself from the rubble, growling as he eyes Naruto dangerously. He's about to continue the fight, regardless of his low chakra reserves, until Hiruzen decides otherwise. Junin Kakashi. Naruto, Kakashi and Yugao turn their attention to the frowning elderly Kage. He continues, "This is supposed to be a simple examination, not some battle to settle your petty squabbles and swelling egos. This match is concluded and I deem Naruto's skills worthy of Junin." Kakashi looks away in shame, embarrassed that his pride interfered with his appointed duty. He says, "Sorry, Naruto. I should have done my job better instead of letting my ego cloud my judgment." Naruto shakes his head. "Think nothing of it, Kakashi. That was an interesting tactic. I didn't expect you to use Kawarimi like that." Kakashi chuckles. "Sometimes the basics are all you need. As a Jonin, you'll learn to use everything at your disposal." Naruto smiles and nods. Kakashi leaves the field to go get medical attention, and Yugao follows, concerned for her boyfriend. Moments later, the crowd looks on in anticipation as Jiraiya and Naruto stare each other down. Jiraiya is a Kage-level shinobi, so the odds are logically against Naruto in this fight. That doesn't stop Anko from collecting bets on them. "Bets here, place your bets here. Who's gonna win? The handsome blonde stallion or the perverted toad?" Naruto sweats at his lover, while Jiraiya turns red with anger. "Oi, I'm the toad sage, not an actual toad, damn it." Naruto chuckles. Jiraiya turns back to him and smirks. "You know, kid, I suppose now wouldn't be a bad time to tell you I'm your godfather, right?" Naruto raises an eyebrow and smirks. "Oh? So I guess I can try a little harder to beat your ass for missing out on my childhood, right?" Jiraiya chuckles uncomfortably. "Guess I put my foot in my mouth, huh?" Yugao approaches, sweating under the tense atmosphere from the two combatants. She clears her throat. "This next bout will be a full match, anything goes barring fatal attacks. You stop when I say stop, understood?" Both men nod. "Begin." Jiraiya is the first to act. He flashes through a series of seals and shouts, "Doton, swamp of the underworld." The ground underneath Naruto's feet turns into a thick mud, trapping Naruto. He counters by channeling his crash element, destroying the ground and the jutsu that bound him. Jiraiya narrows his eyes. Naruto channels chakra into his legs, and explodes forth in a burst of speed. Jiraiya barely has time to counter. He manages to throw up his guard to protect himself as Naruto slams his fist into his arms. Jiraiya grits his teeth through the pain, feeling his bones creak under the pressure of Naruto's strength. Naruto has a grin on his face. He learned to reinforce his limbs with his unnaturally dense chakra, adding an incredible amount of force behind his already heightened strength. He rears back his left hand and delivers another punch, this time landing underneath Jiraiya's guard and rattling his innards. Jiraiya's face contorts in pain and he coughs up blood. Naruto's punch launches him into the far wall. The audience is stunned. Less than minute into the fight, and Naruto sent one of their strongest shinobi flying across the field. Jiraiya manages to shake off the cobwebs. He grimaces at Naruto's power. "Damn. That felt like I took one of Haim's punches. I guess I can't afford to hold back in this one." Jiraiya bites his thumb and flashes through some seals. He slaps the ground. "Kuchiyose no jutsu." Two frogs appear on both of his shoulders. "Jiraiya boy," one says, "what made you call on us?" Jiraiya chuckles. You see that blonde gaki over there? He says. Pa looks and his eyes widen. Jiraiya boy, is he? Jiraiya nods. I see. His chakra has an unnatural weight to it as well. It doesn't belong to his prisoner either. Jiraiya clenches his jaw slightly. I'm aware. I need to use that in order to match him. He's strong, very strong. I need to use everything in my arsenal to match him. Fukasaku and Shima both nod in understanding. Jiraiya enters into a state of concentration as he begins to channel nature chakra. Naruto smirks, giving the Toad Sage a moment to gather his power. Naruto wouldn't normally let this happen and would rather opt to destroy his opponent, but he's never had the chance to fight a Kage-level shinobi. He wants to finally have a fight he may enjoy. Jiraiya finishes entering his Sage mode. He opens his eyes and reveals how they mirror a toad's. He speaks, "You'd better be ready, Gaki. Big mistake letting me enter into Sage mode. Amateur move." Naruto scoffs. "Get over yourself, old man. If I continued fighting you at your normal power, this fight would have already been over. You're about on the same level as Gramps. I don't usually get to fight someone on that level, so I want this to last." Naruto drops down into a fighting stance. "Don't disappoint me, Toad Sage." Jiraiya grits his teeth. "Arrogant Gaki. Know your place." Jiraiya disappears in a blur of speed, surprising Naruto a bit. He takes off as well, chakra channeled into his legs. He meets Jiraiya in the center of the field, both throwing a punch, knuckle meeting knuckle. The resounding shockwave cracks the ground beneath them. Naruto grins madly while Jiraiya clenches his teeth. His hand was rattled in the exchange, leaving a throbbing pain in his right hand. The two take off again to continue their exchange, crashing fist meeting Toad style. Jiraiya can't believe that Naruto is able to keep up with him in his Sage mode. The physical exchanges are earth-shaking, leaving cracks and craters throughout the entire field. Fukasaku and Shima both struggle under the pressure of such a brutal fight. Jiraiya lands a punch to Naruto's gut but is surprised when the boy simply continues as if he doesn't feel it. Naruto retaliates with an elbow to Jiraiya's jaw, loosening his teeth and inducing starry vision. What the hell? Jiraiya thinks to himself. How does a mere kid have so much power? The crash element coursing through Naruto's body strengthens him and gives him incredible endurance. This advantage becomes apparent once Naruto begins overwhelming the Toad Sage, his body no longer able to keep up with Naruto. The two combatants separate, and Jiraiya's fatigue is obvious, and the battle had begun to wear on him. He's panting heavily, as are the two Toad elders. Naruto chuckles. "What's wrong, old man? Can't keep up with a youngster like me anymore?" Jiraiya grits his teeth, but is loath to admit that Naruto has a point. While Jiraiya has been put through his paces with this fight, Naruto looks fresh with only a few scathes here and there. Jiraiya isn't so sure that his age is such a big factor as Naruto's unbelievable strength. Deciding to go for broke, Jiraiya channels chakra into his hand, forming a rotating sphere of energy. The orb grows in size, eclipsing Jiraiya himself in sheer mass. Jiraiya charges at Naruto. Udama Rasengan. Naruto smirks. He knows of the Rasengan from studying up on the Yondaime Hokage. Alighting his left hand in crash chakra, he reciprocates the charge. Jiraiya slams the massive ball of rotating chakra into Naruto, who meets it with his bare hand. Naruto's crash element works its magic in destabilizing and destroying the chakra forming the Rasengan, but Jiraiya continues supercharging it with nature chakra. Naruto is caught by surprise that the Rasengan holds up as he is starting to get pushed back. Jiraiya smirks. "Guess your crash element isn't so almighty after all, huh brat?" Naruto smirks. "Can it, old man? I'm just getting started." Grabbing his wrist, Naruto begins pouring on his chakra. His body erupts in a ghostly white aura as the ground beneath him shatters into cubes and disintegrates. Jiraiya can no longer maintain the chakra usage. Fukasaku and Shima dispel from exhaustion, and Jiraiya's Rasengan shatters. Naruto capitalized and delivers a punctuating punch to finish the match. The audience is stunned by the display. Naruto's punch sends Jiraiya flying, crashing into the ground and digging a trench into the field. He's no longer in his legendary Sage mode and is blissfully unconscious. Naruto simply looks at the motionless form of the Toad Sage. Rather than his patented, arrogant swagger, he has a solemn, wistful expression. He gives a light smirk. "Thanks for the great fight, Kyofu." He turns and walks off the field. Yugao snaps out of her stupor and shunshuns to the field and announces, Winner of the match Naruto Uzumaki." The crowd breaks out in amazed murmurs and chatters. Hiruzen sighs. He knows he'll have a hell of a time explaining this to everyone. In the Hokage's office a few hours after Naruto's exam, Naruto stands before Hiruzen, listening to his evaluation. And as such, while I know you lack field experience, I do believe that raw strength and power such as yours more than makes up for that. I'm promoting you to the full rank of Junin. Congratulations, Naruto-kun. Hiruzen hands Naruto one of the standard issue Junin vests. Naruto chuckles. Thanks, old man. I do wonder how the clan heads took it when you broke the news to them. Hiruzen chuckles. Well, they of course had many questions, but seeing as I'm the Hokage, they didn't challenge my decision. I do want you to know that I am very proud of you, Naruto-kun. Naruto smiles at the man he considers a grandfather. Thanks, Oji-san. You know, you've always looked out for me and made sure I was okay, even when I felt like giving up. I appreciate it more than you know. The elderly Kage looks at his surrogate grandson with warm eyes. Of course, Naruto-kun. It's the least I could do since I'm partially responsible for your hardships. If I had been the one to seal the fox instead of your father. Naruto shakes his head. What's done is done, Gigi. I'm enjoying my life now, that's the best anyone can do. Hiruzen smiles. Indeed, Naruto-kun. Report back to me at the end of the week. I have a mission that requires your talents. Naruto nods and exits the Hokage's office, knowing exactly who he wants to celebrate today's events with. Heading down Konoha's residential district for shinobi, Naruto ponders his future in his mind. He's slowed his womanizing tendencies quite a bit, finding himself content with Anko and Kurenai. He's racked up quite a bit of money from raiding bandit camps and looting nuke nin corpses from his bounties. And now that he's a Junin, he has the potential to earn a substantial constant income. Naruto truly is content with his life. He smiles a genuine smile as he nears his destination. Coming up on the apartment, he knocks on the door. After a short moment the door opens, revealing the beautiful form of a woman he genuinely loves, Anko Mitarashi. The gorgeous T&I operative is clad only in a long short-sleeve shirt, and what Naruto can only assume is her panties underneath. Naruto smiles warmly, which she returns, and no words were exchanged as the two lean in and share a loving kiss. Hello, my love. Naruto says. Anko chuckles. Hey, Naru. She leads him inside and closes the door, locking it and activating her security seals. She then joins Naruto on the sofa, leaning in close to his left side, and laying her head on his chest. Congratulations on your promotion again, by the way. Naruto gently runs his hand up and down her back, kissing her forehead. Thanks, love. It was kind of easy though, unfortunately. I was hoping Jiraiya would present more of a challenge. Anko chuckles again. Naru, your Kekkei Tota makes you one of the strongest shinobi in the world and you're only. I doubt many people would be enough of a challenge for you and you're still growing. Naruto laughs at his girlfriend, as she makes a good argument. You have a point. Either way, the old man said he'll give me a mission at the end of the week. Till then, I have a short vacation. Anko smirks. I wonder what we should do until then. She says suggestively, gazing into his eyes and moving in closer to his lips. Naruto's grin widens slightly, already feeling the tightening of his pants and the warmth of his lover's breath. I have a few ideas. Lemon ahead. Naruto claims Anko's lips with his own, immediately prodding her mouth with his tongue. The two lovers are no strangers to each other's body. They know where to touch, where to pinch, where to squeeze. Almost everything there is to know about each other. Naruto pulls Anko into his lap and begins running his hands under her large shirt that she wears for simply lounging around. The beautiful purple-haired snake mistress moans as her lover attacks all of her weak spots, kissing her neck, nibbling her earlobe, pinching her nipples, squeezing her ass. But neither Naruto nor Anko are being overly aggressive or dominant. The kind of sex they have is for lovers, as the two genuinely hold feelings for the other. Naruto gets to his feet and Anko wraps her legs around her lover's waist. She gazes into his eyes for a moment, before kissing him again with even greater passion. She grasps his golden blonde hair and pulls him into the kiss even deeper. I love you, Naru-kun, Anko whispers between her kisses. Naruto reaches the bedroom and lays her gently on her mattress, pulling off his shirt and revealing his chiseled torso. He leans down, his face inches away from Anko's. I love you too, Anko Hime. Their lips connect again, and Naruto begins pulling her shirt off. Looking down, he is slightly surprised to see she is not wearing panties at all. Anko chuckles. I knew you'd be coming, so I didn't want to have to wait. Naruto grins and leans down, attacking his beloved sex with his tongue and lips. Anko snaps her head back and elicits a loud moan of pleasure, grabbing the sheets tightly. Naruto pushes her legs further back, digging in deeper and burying his nose against Anko's patch of purple pubic hairs. He inhales deeply, basking in the intoxicating scent of her arousal. Anko's scent and taste is Naruto's favorite. Anko's legs shake as her second orgasm erupts through her body. She is panting and sweat glistens on her skin. Naruto, however, was not finished. He pushes her legs further back and begins servicing the snake kunoichi's anus, licking, kissing and sucking on her with delight. Naru-kun, you don't need to do that. Naruto grins and buries his face even deeper into his lover's ass. He loves everything about this woman. To him, there is nothing he'd ever consider filthy about her. Having had enough foreplay, Naruto leans up and aligns his length with Anko's entrance. Wasting no time, he plunges into her, making her moan with joy and arousal. Anko wraps her arms around his neck and closes her feet behind his hips as she fully accepts Naruto's girth. The two lovers stare deeply into each other's eyes and kiss passionately. They exchange no more words as they continue to make love, since no words were needed to know how they felt. This was their ultimate pleasure. This was their highest form of love. Naruto wasn't trying to dominate Anko, as he does with his other lovers. He wanted her to feel just as good as he does. Anko wasn't trying to be in control. She was only hoping to reach her climax with her lover. Naruto's thrusts quicken, his breath hastens, and the bed's creaking grows more frequent as the two lovers close in on their orgasms. Anko moans into their kiss as her walls tighten around Naruto's cock. His length grows and hardens further as he approaches his release, with a grunt and a deep thrust as far inside Anko as he can reach, smashing against her womb. He releases his semen as if he was trying to impregnate her. Anko releases a cry of pleasure as she reaches her own orgasm, her juices spraying all over Naruto's crotch. The wave of pleasure subsides and Naruto collapses on top of Anko, burying his face in her neck. Between his panting, Naruto says, "I love you, Anko. I love you so much." Anko tightens her arms around Naruto, melding their bodies even closer. "I love you too, Naru-kun." Naruto gives Anko one last kiss before they both drift off to sleep. Lemon end. The rest of the week passed by quickly for Naruto. Too quickly. He spent each day with either Anko or Kurenai. The latter he spent time with mainly getting to know her better. He truly cares for the two beauties, and he only hopes that the mission he will be assigned will not take too long. In the meantime, he managed to change his outfit too. He now sports a form-fitting shirt, dark gray tactical pants, black shinobi standard sandals, and a black cloak, giving him the appearance of a drifter. He kept the bandages on both of his hands and he wears the Konoha plate on his waist as a belt. Arriving at the Hokage's office, he knocks on the door, opening it when he hears the Hokage's voice. Entering into the office, he notices Kakashi is there with his team. They turn and see Naruto enter the room. "Kakashi," Naruto says, giving him a nod. Kakashi returns the gesture with a wave. "Yo, Naruto," giving the young jounin an eye smile. Sakura notices their interaction. "Kakashi, how do you know Naruto baka?" Sasuke also raises an eyebrow in interest. "Mama, Sakura-chan, you shouldn't disrespect a higher-ranking nin of your village." Kakashi responds. Sakura's confusion is obvious. "Huh? But I wasn't rude to you, Kakashi-sensei." He shakes his head. "I didn't mean me, Sakura. I meant Naruto-kun." Hers and Sasuke's confusion only grows. Hiruzen chuckles. "He's telling the truth, Sakura-chan. Naruto-kun is an official Junin of the Leaf Village." "What?" Sakura and Sasuke shout. All the while, Sai shows no reaction, keeping that fake smile he was so infamous for. Sasuke turns and glares at Naruto, who sports an exasperated expression. He grits his teeth. "Damn it. Now Naruto has surpassed me too far out of my reach. How the hell am I supposed to get strong enough to face Itachi at this rate?" Sakura voiced her indignation. "But how did Naruto make Junin already? He just graduated from the academy with us." Hiruzen chuckles. "That is true, but his circumstances would have made it a waste to keep him a genin. The only logical choice was to employ his abilities as a jonin." Seeing the disheartened expression of Sakura and the anger on Sasuke, Naruto voiced his opinion. "I wouldn't worry about the two of you. You both will likely make jounin by next year or the year after at the most." Sakura and Sasuke looks at Naruto in intrigue. He chuckles. Sakura, you're the smartest in our class if you don't count Shikamaru's family nature. If you take into account where all your abilities can be put to use, I'm sure you'll find your own niche. And Sasuke, you're an Uchiha. For the most part, you all might be arrogant dickheads most of the time, but there's no denying the skill and talent your clan possessed. If you were pushed, you could probably match a Chunin right now, so don't worry, you'll be in my shoes in no time. Those words did the trick. Their expressions instantly relaxed, and they felt the confidence in Naruto's tone. Team, minus Sai, felt the drive to work harder knowing that Naruto had faith in their abilities. Both Hiruzen and Kakashi smiled at Naruto for giving the two genin that push in the right direction. Receiving their mission, a chore really, much to their horror. Team exited the Hokage's office, with Sakura giving Naruto a thank you and a smile, even Sasuke nodding with a smile and a promise to match him the next time they meet. Naruto bid Team good luck, and turned his attention to the Hokage. An air of seriousness began to permeate the room. Naruto-kun, the Hokage began. This mission is of the utmost importance. For several years now, the Yondam Mizukage has been slaughtering the bloodline users in Kirigakure senselessly. I would have gladly helped out their country if only I could spare the forces. But I couldn't. He paused to look Naruto in the eye. Until now. Naruto nods in understanding. The elderly Kage continues. Junin Naruto Uzumaki, your mission is to head to Kirigakure and provide support to the rebels. Their leader, a woman named Mei Terumi, will fill in the rest of the details. This is an S-rank mission. He hands Naruto the scroll. Naruto-kun. Naruto looks his grandfather figure in the eye. Stop this war, save those people, and put that madman down.